So apparently, Russia's Wagner, let me say that again. Russia's Wagner group had been deployed, I think, in larger numbers recently in Ukraine. Obviously, who the hell knows what's going on, really, but those are the rumors. Apparently, they had been in Ukraine used to destabilize the Donbass region, probably to give Putin an excuse to invade Ukraine for many years now. But recently, there's been more of them sent into Ukraine, seeing as Putin seems to be struggling to some degree. So, yeah, who are these people? Check out the red and black motif, right? This is the infamous blood and soil, right? Blood on the dance floor, let's party. This is, also the Ukrainian neo-Nazi flag, right? The Ukrainian flag, which is a blue sky over gold fields of wheat. When shit hits the fan, it turns to black and red, right? Blood on the ground, soil and blood. Uh, a Nazi concept from the times of Hitler, right?
What is Russia's Wagner Group? Many call it a private military company, but that's misleading. Wagner is not truly private or commercial. It is linked to the Kremlin and its foreign policy ambitions. Its commander is Dmitry Utkin, a retired...
Dmitry Utkin. And, this is all obviously just all Western propaganda, right? Just like Dugin has nothing to do with Putin, right? This is just all lies. Don't tell me Russia good. Don't tell me none of this, right? Anyway, Dima Utkin. Who are you, man? So that's apparently him. What a nice gentleman. Apparently he's rocking the SS collar, right? He had it permanently tattooed onto him, and some more Nazi, they say, markings on the left shoulder, and then he has this, German phoenix, the Phoenician, right? Phoenix rising from the ashes, the same one that's on Dugin's book, right? Dugin, who is also a Nazi of sorts, or wants to unite Nazis and commies because separate they weren't strong enough to fight freedom, right? The liberal system of the West, so they had to infiltrate it from, and whether it was Operation Paperclip, whether obviously they had allies in the West, probably connected by business, family ties, so on and so forth. So you could say a lot of the Nazis infiltrated the American power structure with Operation Paperclip, and is that what it was called? I forget now. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. And in other ways, whereas as stated in another video, the Marxists infiltrated America from another direction, and well, you know the rest, right? So this guy is a GRU spook, right? All these people out there talking about Russia and the current crisis. If they're not talking about the GRU, either they're ignorant, so how what can they really tell you, right? Or they're just shills, right? They're in some way, shape, or maybe they're Russian trolls. Who knows, right? If they're talking about KGB, FSB, but they completely ignore the GRU, right? Then it is what it is. Draw your own conclusions. Anyway, this guy is accused of being a neo-Nazi, right? It's kind of there, right? And they are like United States BlackRock, right? You could say they're kind of like the Azov battalion, even though the Azov seem like more of a reaction to types of aggression, but they're possessed by the same devilish ideology, no doubt about it. So, I mean, I'm not gonna. You could go check out these videos, they're out there. Nowhere in this video do they, at least I didn't pick up on it, they talk about war crimes and how vicious and good at killing these people are. But they don't mention the fact that they're probably neo-Nazis. They seem like they are, right? There's another video here where you have the same colors, right? Putin's mercenaries, black and red. Then you have Crux. Putin's private killers sent to Ukraine to destabilize. Black and red, right? Is that yeah, if that's them, right? Maybe they're just waving to some people. Maybe they're giving the Nazi salute. That's pretty cool. You could go check out that video if you want. There was another one. Wagner. Here we go. TRT World, right?
Well, if you haven't, then you...
Oh, would you that? What an appropriate uniform, lady. So why are all these outlets, and they look like pretty mainstream or, you know, fake alt news, are they afraid of I don't know, retribution if they talk about these people as Nazis? Which is why they're hinting at it, but they're not talking about it, right? It's not coincidental, the whole black and red motif, right? Not at all coincidental. Or are they just communicating to those in the know what's up, but not the public at large, which has to remain dumb to a large degree, and they have to, both sides want them to toe this, you know, Putin is denazifying Ukraine, right? Which is just nonsense, right? You know, maybe they're communicating something amongst themselves without just showing how ridiculous the narrative is, right? Because they're working together to some degree, right? So, yeah, the whole idea that, as I told you before, that Putin is denazifying. Yeah, there is a neo-Nazi problem in Ukraine. Yes, there is a neo-Nazi problem in Russia, Poland, America. Depending where you are, how badly those ultra nationalistic sentiments have been stoked, the reaction was the extremity of this neo-Nazi uber nationalistic reaction has been commensurate with the amount of pressure to these movements are. It's well known how these movements are created, how nationalism is stoked and then stoked to become ultra nationalistic and Nazi. Like this is done on purpose to give people an excuse to go in and take over and develop, you know, destroy fully functioning cities and, you know, build smart cities in their place. Like lately, that's the, you know, build back better. So it's just a psyop, the whole neo-Nazi. Like, obviously these groups exist, but they are supported, created, funded by, you know, their existence is caused by, you know, you create certain kinds of pressures. These groups will sprout out autonomously, or not really autonomously, but organically, I guess, not really organically, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be a grassroots movement that's created by indirectly by pressures from outside and people putting this pressure on Ukraine, known them well. It's just a process of radicalization, right? Like they know them well these groups will sprout out if you press the right buttons, you kill enough people, and then that gives them an excuse to go in with their own Nazis and take out these Nazis and color the narrative however the fuck they want to do it, right? So when I told you that there is no good or bad guy in this situation, right? That it's all bad. Well, it's all fucking Nazis, commies, whatever the fuck. There isn't much of a difference. But this is World War III, right? This is the same fucking model, commies versus Nazis, when ultimately, uh, or maybe this is the synthesis of both, right? If you look at Dugin and you consider his Masonic roots, right, it starts to make perfect sense. So there's Nazis everywhere, there's commies everywhere, and ultimately they're one and the same. Yeah, they've been fighting each other, but I guess they've come to realize that. And look, if you have commies and Nazis fighting each other, that in a way also helps you create these groups and strengthen them, right? Because that's how this is. And Dugin talks about this too in his book, right? His whole ideology is anti, right? He needs an enemy in order to be able to exist, right? So maybe that's how communism or Marxism and Nazism, well, I guess Nazism and communism both draw their inspiration, ideology from Karl Marx, right? Who was, well, German. So you like all over the place, just like me right now talking to you. You see German Russian, right? German Russian, and it's kind of blending. It's kind of one and the same. And there isn't that much difference ideologically. These these ideologies have been created in that part of Europe for a reason. In order for them to clash and strengthen one another, it would seem, at least by what's happening right now. So they would strengthen one another. Yeah, they fought, but that actually justified. This is what Dugin and people like him believe, right? That justified each other's existence. If you don't have, and you could, and this has been talked about when it comes to liberalism, right? Like the end of history, right? The end of politics. There's no there's no movement opposing liberalism. Like, oh, history has ended, basically. Right now, it's a bunch of bullshit, right? It's a bunch of we could just have world peace now, and we could like progress as humanity. No, 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 nonsense. It's just another step in creating. This is pure fucking Marxism, man. All of it is pure Marxism. Just setting groups of people against one another and then coming in as the savior, right? So there's Nazis everywhere, there's commies everywhere, and whatever liberalism was, it was infiltrated by both of those, and it's all just chaos and war, and from that, like Phoenix from the ashes is going to be created the NWO, basically. Like, it's really simple. It's really, really simple. So this whole idea that Putin is fighting Nazis in Ukraine and that's why he's there, that's just for dummies to consume and believe, right? The dummies that are more likely to wake up, you gotta have some kind of gatekeeping methodology. You gotta catch these people before they fully wake up, right? Which is probably why they're hinting at it, but they're not outright telling you that Wagner, right? Wagner, are a neo-Nazi group, because the psyop must continue. So yeah, it's all fucked up, man. All of this is bad. All of this is anti-human. It's it's just this anti ideology, right? Well, it's satanic, right? It's antichrist. This is what these people are. They're adversaries. Their whole ideology is just they cannot exist without being anti something. That's their whole fucking shtick. And this is the final battle, right? Liberalism versus these Nazis and commies uniting and fighting liberalism. First infiltrating it from within and looking to weaken it. And this is the beginning, like Dugan says, right? This is the beginning of the final battle. Operation Z. So I don't know, man. Putin, yeah, you got, as if this clown show couldn't get any worse right now. You got fucking Russian Nazis fighting Ukrainian Nazis and denazifying Ukraine, right? So if you eliminate the common denominator, right? You eliminate the things that cancel each other out. It's really just Russians eliminating Ukrainians, and apparently a lot of them are waking up and they're not wanting to do this, right? These one last thing. This Wagner group was accused of looking to destabilize Belarus, right? So that it will come. It's like people think that color revolutions is just a Western idea, but where does the West get these ideas from, right? Commies. So when Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, came out and said they caught Russian agitators during the failed color revolution in his country, that's probably who he was talking about. These Wagner blokes, right? And now you have in Belarus, you have generals refusing to kill their brothers in Ukraine, right? The seemingly it would seem the order was given from Kremlin, go in and help us out, and there's somewhat of a mutiny and some infighting, apparently also a mini civil war in Belarus that you're not hearing about, right? But apparently there's been mutiny there and some fighting going on over there too. Rumors, I don't know, I can't confirm or deny any of this stuff, but it is what it is, man. Like, long story short, there still are, even though this is just the way it's presented in the media, good versus bad, that's wrong. This is bad versus bad, the stuff you see in the media. But there are glimmers of hope there too, and there are good people out there still left, right? Probably you listening to this, right? There are still forces of good, and hopefully they could at the very least slow down the antichrist, right? These Antifa, right? Those are the colors, Antifa, right? They say they're anti-fascist, but they fly the red and black, blood and soil, right? Nazi shit, and they're coming out of Germany. This is the synthesis, right? This is the synthesis. Action, reaction, commie, fascist, solution, synthesis, right? In order to unite and fight freedom. Not for freedom, fight freedom. Shouldn't be that fucking difficult unless you're brainwashed by ideology and unable to hold two opposing ideas in the head at the same time without experiencing massive psychological and physical discomfort. Cognitive motherfucking dissonance. Man, wake the fuck up. Thanks for watching.